Good morning and welcome back to the How to Build a Powerful Network Using LinkedIn Part 2. My name is Raj, Communications Administrator with the COSTI GSW program. In this second webinar, we will see how to effectively network using LinkedIn. Okay, we will cover a brief idea of how you came to know about the connection, a personalized message with some examples, if you have met the connection, how, when, and where you met the connection, the importance of attention to details, that's spelling and grammar in this case, asking known connections for LinkedIn introductions, endorsements and recommendations, and updating and maintaining a powerful profile. A survey of LinkedIn users say that 90% of connection requests are generic. Okay. Sadly, a lot of people use this flat plastic statement, I'd like to add you to my professional network on LinkedIn, which roughly translates to, hey, you don't know me, well, will you be my friend? Imagine yourself walking on a street and all of a sudden a stranger comes to you with extended arms and say, will you be my friend? Now, that's the same reaction your connections are going to get when they see a message like that pop up in their mailbox. Always remember, whether it's face-to-face or through LinkedIn, networking is about building a relationship and not just asking for something. So just do that. Start building that relationship. Now, one of the challenges that many of you face is personalizing a message to total strangers. Now, the first question is, why that person? Why do you want to connect with that person? Why are you interested? There must be a reason for connecting. Mention it. Honesty works. Just like a lot of other old proverbs, honesty works. Tell them that you're interested to know more about a company that they work and want to know more about it, if that's what it is. Let's say you stumbled upon this person who works for a company that you really want to work with. So you want to make an association, you want to find out more about the company, and you found that this person is in a position where he could really contribute to that process. Here's an example. Dear Mr. X, I see that you are working for ABC Incorporated. I'm looking for some insights about ABC and would appreciate connecting with you. This way, the person understands that you know that this person's working for a company, okay, that you have researched about this person, and that you are looking for his words of wisdom. So people are generally nice. They might respond. If not, move on to the next person. A better way of personalizing a message is by finding a common ground. One of the most effective ways of building relationship bridges is by finding common grounds. Okay? With so much information accessible online, take time to research the person. Start with their LinkedIn profile page. Okay? Look at what kind of interests they have. Could be anything. There could be probably, okay, if not the same career, maybe you are connected through hobbies. Maybe you're into fishing and this person is into fishing big time. Okay, there you got a common ground. You could have been schools. You could have been friends at school or universities. Okay, or even better, look at this example down here. Dear Jane, I see that you're a member of some interest group. Okay, I am also engaged with this group and would like to share some ideas with you. Please accept my invitation to connect. You don't have to be friends. You don't have to have any other common grounds. By virtue of joining a LinkedIn group and finding someone is also part of that group, kind of creates a common ground for you. So after a few discussions within the group, it's very natural for people to connect at a personal level to continue their conversations at a one-on-one level, which is fine. So people will be interested in connecting with you. Even better if you met the person in person. Here's a great example. I enjoyed your presentation very much in the entrepreneurial conference last week. I'd like to stay in touch so we can talk more about it. Okay. You probably met the person a week ago in a conference and you want to keep in touch with that person. Hey, come on. There's no better way of creating a connection. Okay. So it's fine. Even if the person was a guest speaker, you listen to their speech, quote some of those key uh, areas which really impressed you and which you really wanted to move forward in a discussion. Okay, the person will be pleased. Why not? So now you know you have a connection. You wanna you identified common grounds, and you know you have to personalize your message. The next important thing to remember is just don't go be brash and rush yourself and try to write something, especially with the keyboards being ultra sensitive these days. It's so easy to make a few spelling mistakes here and there, and with autocorrection suggesting ridiculous words which we never intended to use, but blindly we say yes, and there you go, you made your mistake. So it's all about branding. Your LinkedIn profile, your LinkedIn communication is all part of your professional branding. So you have to brand yourself right from the start as a very sharp, precise, and an articulate professional. So usually people don't pay much attention to spelling and grammar, but they catch one when they see one. Okay, I know you caught that one. Now that you know how to personalize a message, now your network is actually starting to grow in a wonderful way. Now we're going to add a little bit of more complexity to networking. That is, asking your known connections for introduction to second degree connections. Now this is kind of complex, okay? Think about real life, like what I mean, real life is like an offline, face to face example. You have a friend who's friends with somebody else, and you want to be friends with your friend's friend. There are lots of friends in that statement. Anyway, now it's one thing when it's in person, it's another thing when it's virtual. So you're going to ask your first degree connection to help you get introduced to a connection of theirs. Now, here's a great example. Hey Rick, we met briefly at the Delta Leadership Conference last fall during roundtable discussion. Okay, if you want to rule, I mean, there are some rules there. If you want to go through the rules, please go to the website down below. I'm going to briefly mention what they are. Okay, now rule 1 states, following up on your thoughtful advice on clothing companies, that is establishing the connection. That is where, when, and how. Now, you met this person at the Delta Leadership Conference, okay? And to refreshing the memory, you're trying to tell them again that you're changing careers from being an accountant to being a fashion merchandiser. And then you go on, you were kind enough to give me advice on companies that may appreciate my background. Since we last spoke, I've decided it would be helpful to get online clothing company experience. Acme Shoes is one of the companies I admire in the online world, and I noticed that you have a first degree connection to Ellen Jones, a marketing director there. Be specific about who you're talking about. That's rule number 3. Would you be willing to introduce me to Ellen? If you feel uncomfortable making an introduction, no worries. Always give them an out, okay, an alternative. Do not put them in a position where they feel constrained, because you never know. What if the other person doesn't want to be connected with you? So give them a way out of the situation. Okay, so it's important to say things like, if you feel uncomfortable making an introduction, no worries. Okay, that's okay. It's pretty cool. Alternately, I would appreciate any advice you have on how best to approach a learn. Okay, you could tell me if you want. I mean, I could go directly, but I would really appreciate if you can tell me something about how to do, what to do, or how best to approach this person. Any help you could provide before the end of the month would be greatly appreciated. Give them a time, okay? Otherwise, it could take forever, because if you're very keen on getting your job done, make sure that that you give a kind of a timeline, so they actually work on it. Okay, thank you, and I hope to hear from you soon. It's a very detailed, clear message. Okay, so this is to connect to ask your first degree connection to introduce you to their first degree connections. Okay, which is your second degree connection. Okay, this is how professional networking actually happens in LinkedIn. Now, we were talking about giving and taking. Endorsements and recommendations are a great way of showing people that you are a contributor, not just a receiver. But before getting into the nitty-gritties of endorsements, some common comments on endorsements. Okay, and these are none, by none other than senior executives sourced from the internet. Endorsements are cheap and dirty. It's nice to see on a profile, but it doesn't have any substance to it. Endorsements are a little meaningless because everyone is endorsing everyone for everything. It's true. Endorsements are losing their charm, their effectiveness. Okay. Yet, do not ignore endorsements. Imagine if you're applying for a job and your competitors all have 50 to 100 endorsements from clients and colleagues, while you have zero. That could hurt your chances. So it's not that endorsements are necessarily great, but if you do not have, then people are going to feel something is wrong with you. So you should have endorsements. Make it meaningful. LinkedIn's got lots of features now in terms of endorsements and how you handle them. You could choose not to have any of your endorsements featured. You could move your endorsements rankings and so on. And most importantly, you endorse people that you know and skills that you know. Please do not blindly endorse just because somebody endorsed you. Okay, there's no obligations there. Do not be forced to endorse people, and do not accept meaningless endorsements either. Okay, it's very important. Recommendations. You don't get recommendations by a click of a button, so they are a little bit more valued than endorsements because people take time and effort to write recommendations. Okay, recommendations offer proof of your work from individuals who have direct experience with you, because and like I said, recommendations are written by people. They take time and they go back their memory lane, and then they bring out the experiences, the best experiences they had with you, and if they had with you. So these recommendations help you appear in more search terms for industry experience as well. Okay, and again, offer meaningful recommendations to others. It's very important that it's not just you get recommendations, but you make recommendations to others as well. Finally, now you have a great profile, you have great connections, you are networking great. Now, it's all part of your brand building. Now, building is one thing, maintaining it is another thing. Okay, it's crucial that you maintain. What I mean by maintain is to keep updating. If there is a new certification, add them. If you have a little video clip of a presentation that you gave in a recent conference, add it to your LinkedIn profile. LinkedIn is amazing in terms of the ever expanding features that they are incorporating. That could be a great a brand exercise for you. And make sure that spelling and grammar errors are eliminated. And another way of being an active member and enhancing your visibility is by commenting and contributing to groups and writing blogs. keep in touch with your network. You never know when you might be leveraging some of your connections. Send congratulatory messages on birthdays and work anniversaries. It's kind of easy to keep track because LinkedIn always sends you reminders. Okay, the crucial thing is to stay connected at all times. Thank you.